Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the Discovery Sport. I actually said in part one of this, we're not going to hang around, we are going to get straight on it. And although it looks very, very sore and bad, it's not actually as bad as it looks. Nothing wrong with a washer bottle. That was a bit of a joke in the last video. So this side, it is literally dinks and scratches through the panels. So on the driver's side door, through the back door there, there's just scratches and a little dent in that back door there. There's a little bit of damage at the bottom of this door, or at the bottom of the wing rather, where it's pushed in. And then in the last video, Chris actually repaired the A-pillar all the way up. So that has just got guide coat on it at the moment. That's why it sounds like a piece of sandpaper. Just wants knocking back. And of course, he repaired that quarter panel. Chris found a door on eBay for £25, a complete rear door. Now, I've got to pop to Essex and collect that, and then Chris is going to do the little repair on it. Needs a little repair on the arch. And then the front door, I actually found on eBay, and I made a best offer of £30. It was in silver, and it had a little bit of a repair needed just down the back edge. So Chris has already got that one in the spray booth, and he's going to be working on that in the background. In the meantime, I'm going to crack on while the windscreen's out and get this second-hand dashboard fitted in the car. So for those of you that missed the first video, a block of wood, a piece of wood, a stake, has actually come through the windscreen and smashed a hole in a dash. Fortunately, it has actually missed the sat-nav screen and everything else behind there, which is very, very lucky. For those of you that didn't watch part one, go back and watch that, guys. This car has been stolen from the owner and then T-packed by the police. So tactical pursuit manoeuvre, where they've smacked into the side of this car and spun it round. It's then been for a police stinger and actually gone through a hedge. So a bit of a story with this one. Let's crack on, get that dashboard done. Chris is going to crack on in the spray booth and get that door knocked out. So definitely nowhere near as hard as the little Citroen C3 dashboard to do, but certainly a lot longer to do it. There was so many screws, bolts, and really, really awkward to actually get to. And the ones in particular that I was worried about was, if I just lift that up, see that bracket there, guys, just there. That's the one I was worried about. And there's actually one on this side as well. See that bracket there? But once you are actually in the car, it's quite tight to get to. But you can see actually up there just above it. Let's try and get right up there. So you can just about see. Yeah, you can see the hole up there. So it's got quite a large. Let me just pick it up actually off the floor. I've put it down here somewhere. It's just quite a large star drive with a big washer head on it. I'll remove that, and now, well, both sides, that dash is actually ready to come out. But it's been quite a long day today for me and Chris. He's been in the paint booth doing them doors, and also we're recording another video. So what I'm going to do, just so it's fresh on my mind in the morning, I think it's only this wire here and this one that goes up to that speaker at the top. The rest of it is actually going to stay behind, but you had to undo it to undo this, if that makes sense. Pretty much take one thing out of the way to release another. So I'm going to leave it, go and have a sleep, and then come back and chuck that one straight in, get all the wiring in the right place and get it back together. But it'd be nice to get this in there and get Liam round to do that screen, mate, won't it? And then once you've done them bits, get them on as well. Yeah. So I'm going to just quickly include two little clips that I forgot to include earlier in the video, and then we'll be back in the morning. So we got our front bumper all the way down in Whittam, Essex, and you've... What's it? Yeah, Mark. Revlec Auto Engineers, MOT garage down here. He had this front bumper and he actually put the upgraded one on his car, and he said, Rob, honestly, just come and get it. So, right, from here we got to go to Colchester, all the way down to Colchester. And we've got the door. That actually looks a little bit worse than what it did in the pictures, but for 25 quid, what do you want? That's going to be perfect for paneling it up. All of this is straight, and I'm quietly confident Chris will do something with that, won't he? For us, it was the fact that it come with the handle, all of the window, everything is in there, so no bits and bobs to find, it's all there. Take me back into your heart. Back into your heart. Take me back into your heart. Back into your heart. So this is one of the damaged doors that we bought from eBay. I can't remember how much it was, but it was very cheap. So quite a lot of that came out with a tyre lever and a little bit of fiddling about on the inside. I've now DA'd it off, and as you can see there's still a little low spot here, and then there's a few lower spots. So they're a lot more clearer now once it's DA'd off. So there's going to require a bit more work with a dolly and a hammer, and possibly a two-person job, because it's really difficult to hold the dolly in the right place and see where you're hammering at the same time. So I guess I'll wait for Rob to come back to do that, but it's 90% there. The other thing I did want to mention is a couple of people in previous comments have said, why do you fill such a big area? And it makes a lot more sense to fill the whole area and feather it back rather than trying to fill all these individual bits. And what you would find is after the repair was painted, you'd get a lot of sink marks. So you want to skim the whole area and feather it out to nothing really. But if you can get the majority of the dent out first, that minimises the amount of filler in the panel anyway. So that's the idea. But quite pleased with that, and as I say, that's 90% there now, so I'll wait for Rob to come back. Slight change of plan there. Fortunately, one of my friends popped in with a birthday card for me, and I managed to persuade him to go on the dolly and help me with this for 10 minutes, and you can see now these, you can't get in there very well, but these are tiny now, so I'm quite pleased with that. I'm going to go ahead and skim that with filler, and I've already got a bit on that one now, so I can get both of these doors knocked back and hopefully in primer today. That's the plan anyway. Take me back into your heart. Take me back into your heart. Take me back into your heart. Quick trip over to Kent Paints, where we always come. I had to get the half a litre of the silver Land Rover paint, 863, I'll take it that's the code for it, a pole of tape and some poly mask, but unfortunately they've got no poly mask in stock. We don't actually need that today, so we can do alright without that. But let's get back to the yard so that Chris can paint the insides of them doors. Half a litre is going to be plenty. I'm sure we're not even going to need that much. The next morning, Chris did say, he said, Rob, I didn't bother filming, putting a bit of primer on. We've all seen it before, and we didn't want to end up with too much time lapse. But that is £55. That is right, isn't it? £55 for both of those doors, and they're now all repaired. A few hours on that back one for Chris, and a little bit of time on that one there. This one was very, very minimal damage here, but he's got it back to absolutely perfect. primed the repair, and of course repaired that one and primed it as well. I was quite impressed watching that bit of time lapse back where Chris pushed all of that back out with a lever bar, but this one is grey, so that paint that I've just got him, he's going to actually base up and lacquer the inside edge of the door, all of the shuts, and he'll probably do the inside edge of this one as well, so that ultimately they can be put on the car. So we'll let him, you got to flat them off, Chris? Are you done them?
Sorry?
Oh, they've got to be flat off a little bit more, and we'll let Chris crack.
I probably won't flatten them today. I'll just flip that one over,
yeah,
unmask it, scotch off the shut, and get some base and lacquer on it.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it can be done on the vehicle. And
yeah.
it can be painted on the vehicle.
All right, mate.
It's going to be a total repaint, really, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, we'll let you crack on. So, got cracking straight away this morning. Dashboard is now sitting in there, and I've got those main fixing bolts. So, one up the back there, and one up there behind the passenger airbag. And then, of course, I've stuck in the main supporting screws, or bolts, if you'd like to call them. You can pretty much see them all there, and they're scattered all over the place. Can't actually see that one. There it is down there, guys. So I've screwed all of those in so that the dash is now secure, and I'm just starting to line things up. I've put the sat nav screen back in there. Just going to start literally putting it all back together slowly but surely. But again, there is a sequence of how things have got to go back together. So nice and slowly, and we get it right the first time, get it all back together. So a very productive morning so far for me, myself and Chris. I've got the clocks back in there, stop start button, sat nav screen, the radio's in there, but obviously not the buttons and display. All of the switches down here, the leather pad, end cap, under, God, I've lost my words there, knee airbag, everything is all back in there, this side. So I'm going to move on to the other side, which is going to be a little bit more challenging. Glove box, and probably the hardest bits are the little silver trims that run down and finish everything off. And here it does get quite tight, getting the top of that centre console back in, and of course getting all those plugs back in that are dangling down in the middle there. But really moving along with it. Just give you a little show from the other side. I don't know if I mentioned it 10 times. There's a lot of screws with this, a lot of screws. You can see all of these need to go back in. So let's carry on with it. And Chris is just having a cup of coffee and he's going to be moving on. Absolutely Chris's idea, 100%. So this is the dashboard out of the Discovery Sport, and it is knackered. That is unrepairable. We went to chuck this in the skip, but they genuinely will not take it with an undeployed airbag in it. So you kind of get a gist of what Chris is up to here. You're going to try and capture it slow-mo on your phone.
Slow-mo on that, you're going to go live.
I'll catch it live on here. And
I'm going to hide behind there with a crash helmet on.
And you're covered behind there, aren't you?
I hope so.
Right, let's do it.
Ready, Rob?
Fire! Oh! Mate, you should have seen the size of that when it blew up. I can't wait to watch that slow-mo.
Yeah, I'll turn the slow-mo off now.
Unbelievable. Takes quite a long time to deflate, doesn't it?
Yeah. Although, if you had someone flying forward, obviously that would push that and deflate it sooner.
Yeah. This one really is coming together nice and quick. Chris has done, that is the back door that was grey, and it has come out perfect. It is just as shut anyway, like obviously the inside of the door, but you'd never know that it used to be grey. And it's actually touch dry as well now. It's been a little while. Chris said he's actually done all the way along the edge there, right down that edge, and all up inside the door. Even though you don't see any of this, it's all covered up. It's all done, isn't it? It's just going that extra mile each time. No one's ever going to know that that's had a previous door pot on it that was grey. And of course, this one had very, very minimal damage. And Chris has put a little bit of seam sealer on there over the repair. And then, of course, painted and lacquered that as well. Why he's been doing that? Been a bit of teamwork, mate, going on.
Yeah,
me out here and you in there. The dashboard, we're just waiting for Liam. He is on his way to do the windscreen. The dashboard is completely back together, apart from the cowling. I've just noticed that. I've said it. Typical me, that. I said that it's all done, and you can see that I haven't clicked them back together. But really happy with it. And I've just given it a little bit of a wipe over with some of that Jenny Ken multi-purpose. It's actually all come up really nice, but we knew it was a good dashboard anyway. Perfect. Really, really happy with that. And once that windscreen's in there, I think it's just going to turn this car around. It's going to pull it together. So while I was just messing around there, Chris has actually just flatted this off and put stopper in. It had a couple of little low spots in it. But basically, these were just deep scratches in that gloss black. Yeah. So you feathered them out. You're going to chuck a bit of primer on because
get it masked a bit lively. Get some primer on it before Liam.
Because Liam's on his
He
way.
has got to cut the other screen out the aperture first.
He has. Chris, is it worth mentioning that comment in Held for Review?
Oh, what, from the window fitter?
The window fitter. So guys, you're going to see it in a minute. You know that it's chopped through here and it's chopped through the roof. We've got a windscreen with the whole aperture. Now, when I was actually at that place, I rung Liam on FaceTime. He asked me to, and I said, Liam, is that the right windscreen? And this is how they've cut it out. Is that a problem for you? And he said, Rob, of course it's not. Definitely get it. Because I think I mentioned, did I pay 80 quid for that windscreen? And the windscreen for this was nearly 400. So big saving. And of course, if that windscreen fitter is watching, Liam's not only our windscreen fitter, he's actually our friend.
But the windscreen fitter who left the comment said it was 5 times harder, I think.
Yeah.
And he's not watching anymore.
Yeah, Liam said it's not a problem. You know, we're going to clamp it up for him. He's going to cut it out and he's going to stick it in here. And it is all about recycle, reuse, and of course, save a small fortune. So we'll be back once he gets here. The rear door just hung on there for the moment, but perfect repair there by Chris, and a lovely colour match as well, Chris. It is the right code. So front door again, I am going to reiterate, I know I've said it throughout, you found this one, didn't you? £25. I did have to go to Colchester, but I was already up that way getting the front bumper anyway. So front door was on eBay for £50, made a best offer of 30 and it was accepted. So that's on there. And then the front wing, as you know, we got from the place where we got the front wing, windscreen, dashboard, we got bonnet, yeah, quite a lot of parts. But Chris is just chucking that wing on there now. This, I mean, you'd never know that had been involved in a T-pack now, would you? Definitely not.
Together, isn't it?
It is coming together. So I'm just going to let Chris finish putting that wing on, and then we're both going to actually lift the bonnet on. But it's nice to have it all sealed up, and that windscreen, genuine Land Rover windscreen that is as well, which is really nice. All the cameras, everything's all plugged back in, and everything inside all back on there nicely, and everything's working as well. So really, really happy with the progress on this one. Just saying to Chris, so judging by the state of this car when we actually first got it, to come this far in just, this is actually the third video. It's incredible, mate, really, isn't it? When you think about it, yeah. Everything's fallen into place.
Yeah, not too bad.
It's managed to go in the workshop. You got that quarter done in the last video, and that A-pillar, picking up those doors for that sort of money, and then, of course, getting that wing, bonnet, and all of the dashboard, and all of those other bits from that other place. It really has come out okay.
It's nicer in there now,
it looks a lot nicer in there, mate. Thanks for the compliment. So this whole side is actually wants flattening off and painting.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do to it.
No.
So Chris has done all of the repairs down that side of it. Round the back, we got the backlight for it. That was in that package, wasn't it? So got a backlight for it, and you've got a little bit of a repair to do here. But you'll probably get in behind there, the same as you did with that rear door. And
be lucky to get in behind there, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. There'll be a little bit along here to come out. But I'd be very lucky to get in here.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll strip it out.
You will get that fixed, won't you?
Yeah.
And then down this side, of course, it is those little repairs to do. But
that one's more than a little, to be fair.
Oh yeah, that where it's touched the bar inside there, and a bit down this edge here. Yeah.
4 doors. That's the worst one, really.
That's worse than the ones we actually bought.
Oh,
and you've repaired.
Worse. Yeah. They were minor, those two. That sort.
But overall, our plan in this video was actually we'll be doing it off camera. We're actually going to fit those windows in it.
Yeah, make it watertight.
Make it watertight so that it can now sit outside and we haven't got to worry about it, because the front of it, ultimately, since Liam cut that windscreen out, we haven't been able to bring it out of the workshop because we didn't want it to rain on it. But we're really, really happy with the outcome. Of course, put your comments and your thoughts in the comments section down below. That's going to be the end of today's video. Don't forget, please like, subscribe and share. Follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds for the little sneak peeks. And don't forget, guys, if you do reach out to us on Instagram, always include your telephone number. We'll see you in the next one.